the first quarter.
Nice long sustained drive by Youngstown State.
Third and 4 from just inside the 5. Charles Purdue has come in as the tailback behind Smith. Option, run guard. Stopped short of the goal line and close to the first down at the 1. Shannon King, another tackle for Marshall.
You see Brungard before the ball was snapped. He checked around. Must have been a check with me situation and decided to go to the option. Why? Because the defense is loaded inside. So he figures I can get out to the perimeter and then maybe flip the ball out to my tailback, who is number 28. And so now he's going to say, well, you know, let's get out to the perimeter and test the perimeter because all the linebackers are up inside.
Jeff Wilkins will try a field goal as they were short of the first down. Brungard is the holder. This is a 19-yard try. From the right hash mark, Wilkins drives it through. Jim Tressel's Penguins have dominated the first quarter. And with 1:53 remaining in period 1, Youngstown State leads 17-0.
You know, you get the feeling as we talk to Jim Tressel and his coaches and players have got a really buttoned-down organization. Not much gets past them. And same thing we said for Jim Dunnan here at Marshall. What a fabulous job they've done on rebuilding, you know, putting in a new stadium and all the rest of that. The athletic facility here at in one of the end zones is, I think, unparalleled probably in Division II college football.
We have just received word in our truck here in Huntington, West Virginia, from the folks at the University of Cincinnati. They have called a press conference for 4 o'clock this afternoon to name their new head football coach, and they said they expect that their new head football coach will be at that press conference. Now, it is possible that you could get from Huntington, West Virginia to Cincinnati in that amount of time. It's only a short flight, but Jim Tressel would really have to hurry if he's the guy.
He has to get on the Concorde.
Tim Martin is back to receive the kickoff.
It's about 254 miles.
Jeff Wilkins. Another high kickoff. Comes down to Martin at the 9-yard line. He has a hole. And goes down at the 32. Ramon Amil made the tackle for Youngstown State. Coming up next, it's the NFL Today, followed by Dallas at the New York Jets as the Cowboys unleash Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith on the stingy defense of the Jets. That's after the 1AA football championship game here on CBS. (17-0) Youngstown State. First and 10, Marshall. At the 32 of the Thundering Herd. Chris Parker out to the 35. Tackled by Paul Kahn. Parker is sophomore from Lynchburg, Virginia. He certainly has become the feature back as the year's gone along, but he said when the season started, he wasn't sure what his role would be. He only carried 5 times in the opening game against Morehead State.
Yeah, and then he picked up the second ball game. The defense over on the Marshall sideline trying to figure out where the wheels came off and maybe how to get some new ones. But I think that they have to move the linebackers up a little bit more, closer to the line of scrimmage and slide a little bit more. They're getting trapped inside.
That was Mickey Matthews, the defensive coordinator, making the adjustment. Second and 7. Todd Donnan throws. And it is dropped. Incomplete. Official on the near side waited for help from his counterparts.
I was trying to help him out. I was trying to help him out up here, Sean.
We could tell from here, but I just wanted to make sure that the other Penguins started waving their arms. Well, the Penguins really don't have arms.
No, but there's a lot of Penguins down there, though. About 65.
Do you know how they got the nickname Penguins?
No, that's kind of an interesting story. Oh,
1931, Youngstown State basketball team. Very affectionate group, we're sure. Playing a game at West Liberty in the heat. Wasn't working in the gym. Ben Kanicki was a member of the Youngstown basketball team. This is 3rd and 7 for Donnan. And he has a little more running to do. He didn't get there. Went down at the 40. Needed to get to the 42. One of the fans in the stands remarked that the players looked like penguins in the gym without heat. Ben Kanicki doubled as a sports editor of the Youngstown State papers. When he went back to write his account of the game in which he played, he repeated the quote that the players looked like penguins, and the nickname has stuck ever since.
Well, there you have it. And they're the two penguins on the sideline. Penguin on a stick.
I think we had that last night. 19 seconds left in the first quarter. Colquitt not pressured this time. It's a good punt. Fair catch called for and made by Trent Boykin at the 16. 44-yard punt and no return. And Brungard and company back in business, already up 17-0.
Take a look at the drives of Youngstown so far. Every time they've had the football, they've gotten points on the board. They started their own 35, of course, the 6 off of that miscue, and then their own 25, and they burned up a lot of time off the clock because essentially, when you look at the time, really, that last drive was, what, 7 minutes, 23 seconds?
Mm-hmm. For the 14 plays. 7 seconds left in the quarter. And the handoff goes to Cameron Smith. And a flag is thrown. 2 flags thrown. They stacked them up at the line of scrimmage, but let's check out the Hankies. It was thrown right into where they were tackling him, which would lead one to believe that perhaps they grasped the face mask or
Rodney Garrett was in there.
Foul.
Yeah, Rodney got in there real quick. Just kind of flashed across. There you go. 5-yard face mask penalty. Sean, you saw Garrett just kind of slam into the line, and maybe that's the other thing that Marshall will attempt to do here is have that defensive line penetrate a little bit more. Just a look at the penalty. You see Garrett, number 88, the bottom of your screen, slants inside of Kokos, and then, yeah, he grabbed a little bit of the face mask. That's why it was only a 5-yarder. Excellent play by him, though. And good reaction off the ball.
And they're summoning Mark Brungard back to the field. The officials, because it was a defensive foul, do not end the quarter. There'll be one more play, even though 0 show on the clock. First and 5 after the face mask penalty. Smith stopped by the Kings, Shannon and William. They are not related. And that is the end of the first quarter. With the score, Youngstown State 17, Marshall nothing. We'll return to Huntington after this message from your local station. You're watching the Division I AA Football Championship on CBS.
Nothing lead. In between quarters, Jim Tressel, the Youngstown State coach, gathered all of his troops together. He said, guys, you played a perfect quarter. Everything went well, but we've been in this position before. Don't relax. They've come back every time we've played them. Let's not put ourselves in a position where we have a big lead, thinking it's all too easy, and then fall behind. Sean?
It has been easy, Dan.
That's right, but you think about last year's game when the Thundering Herd jumped out to a 28-0 lead and then only to lose it late in the ball game and have to kick a winning field goal at the end.
This is 2nd and 3 on the first play of the second quarter for the Penguins. Darnell Clark ran into Shannon King, who corralled him for no gain.
That's what I'm talking about, those linebackers getting a little bit more aggressive up front, Sean. If you start firing those linebackers, it really breaks up the rhythm of zone blocking because it does not allow the offensive line time to react. Right now, you see those linebackers coming to the point of attack. King makes the tackle and body slams him. Watch the guys up front. See, they want to get a little bit of movement up there. If they can't get that movement off the line of scrimmage, that stymies the running game.
Third down and 3. The crowd trying to help the Thundering Herd defense. Option, Brungard. First down. Out to the 29. He was the leading rusher for Youngstown State last week in the semifinal win over Idaho. Brungard rushed for 91 yards in that game. He only passed 7 times. That was a particularly big game for Brungard. 91 of his 306 coming into today in that game last week.
And look at the
Idaho.
averages on these guys. That's the thing that's fabulous, Sean. 6.1, 5.0 for Tamaron Smith. That's excellent when they're running the football.
And they've used the ground game to pile up 8 first downs. Marshall has had only 1. Smith stopped, and a flag is thrown into the pile again. William King credited with the tackle.
Billy Lyon, number 86, in the defense for the Herd, saying it's holding.
And at least on that play, he's a good official. He made the correct call.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
That backs the ball to the 19-yard line. First and 20.
See, that's practice. Hold hands, see? Get used to the grippers. They call that an igloo instead of a huddle?
I guess they would. They call their home stadium in Youngstown, Stanbaugh Stadium, the Ice Castle.
Ice Castle.
On first and 20, they keep it on the ground. And Purdue is tackled at the 24 by William King. It seems like there's a King on every stop, either Shannon or William.
William King makes the tackle.
Mentioned that this is the 3rd different starting quarterback in as many championship games for Youngstown. Brungard was a redshirt in '91 when Ray Isaac led the Penguins to the national title. He was the backup to Nick Cochran last year when Youngstown State lost to Marshall in the championship game.
And that game in '91, Sean, it was a story. You know, Youngstown was running the football very successful like they are today. But you did not expect to pass out of them as much as Ray Isaacs did that day. Had a great day.
On 2nd and 15, Tamaron Smith for 1 yard, and that's it. Byron Turner, the nose guard, at the bottom of the pile.
Now you're starting to see some movement up there on that defensive line for Marshall. Little penetration, the linebacker sliding to the play. Expect to see Youngstown, they'll probe the outside now. The inside running game, if they take that away from you, then you hit the outside with the options and the toss plays.
Third down and 13. Youngstown State is 3 out of 4 on 3rd down conversions to this point. They lead 17-0 early in the 2nd quarter. Brungard scrambling. Was hit. No whistle. That's a free ball. Picked up by William King. Rodney Garrett knocked it free. King picked it up, and then King was tackled by Aaron Green, and that was close as to whether Brungard's arm was coming forward, and he's arguing the point with Steve Newman.
Well, see, Garrett did the thing. He tried to strip the football, and that's what they teach defensive linemen. If you get near that quarterback, go for the football, knock it out of his hand, and that's exactly what Garrett did. Rodney Garrett, number 88, will never give up on the playoff play action. Watch him keep pursuing the quarterback, chases him down, and then strips the ball out. Right about here, he comes over, knocks the ball. You see his hand go back. The ball pops out. King recovers it.
Very close. The officials ruled his arm was not going forward. After the turnover, they handed it to Parker, and he got a couple.
William King.
And motion inside guy, William.
Another peek at it now. Let's watch the quarterbacks on Brungard and see if that arm starts to come forward. Draws back, and no, it was taken out of there before his arm ever came forward.
Parker gained 2 on first down. The adjustments that Eddie Matthews has been making seem to be helping the Marshall defense. Now it's up to Todd Donnan in the offense to put points on the board for the Herd. 2nd and 8. They stick with Parker, and he fumbled. Recovered by the Penguins. A simple toss, and he couldn't handle it. And David Birch recovered the fumble for Youngstown State.
Toss looked like it may have been a little low, but still, you got to get all over this football. You cannot allow it to sit there on the ground. Yeah, he's going to try to pick it up and run with it, Chris Parker. Don't do that. Just get on the football at that point, because you still get a field.